What's cracking, Expressers? Welcome to Podcast X Episode 4, the first without a guest. It's myself and James. We're going to carry the show.
It
and
is indeed.
I'm pretty sure you guys are going to like it. So, how you
Yeah.
doing today, James? Mr. James?
James, Mr. James. Now, if anybody's been watching Bunny Tears' latest videos, you would have noticed he's been calling me Laffy Taffy.
Laffy Taffy.
I'd like to know what inspired this.
Really?
Yeah,
I was recording. Right, okay.
I was waiting until I hit record to ask you.
This. Oh, yeah, I bet you fucking were. This requires a bit of backstory, okay? When I do my commentaries, I don't. Like, a lot of people write a script or do more than one take or these kind of things. I always do it. I press record, I do 10 minutes of commentary, and that's it. I never do 2 takes. I never write a script. And so when I was introducing the fact that I was playing with you, I was rolling through your names. So James, that James guy, R.I.P. Wings, and then Laffy Taffy just happened to pop into my head. So it was the most random thing I could possibly think of at the time. So I decided that's what you're going to be called from that point on. That's literally the entire of it.
Well, now we know.
Yes,
Now we
there was
know.
no backstory to it. There was no reasoning. That's just what it was.
Yep. For the next podcast, I'm going to have to come up with a name for you now. This just doesn't seem fair.
You can try, but
I can try. Right.
I'll beat you out.
Okay. Are you ready for the first question?
Ah, yes. Okay, let's do this.
Is a slut the same as being a player?
That is a great question.
It is. And so let me explain this to the people listening. So what I mean by slut, just so we got everything out there, is a girl who was very open with herself and very willing to be with male partners and has had or is at one time being with many of them. What I'm describing here as a player is almost the male counterpart, but it's a male that gets with a lot of chicks. That's how I'm going to describe it.
Well worded.
Well
Gets
worded.
with a lot of chicks. Well, in my opinion, Mr. James, according to the rules, a slut and a player are the exact same thing. I mean, according to what they do, what they accomplish, and their attitude towards sexuality, they're the exact same thing. However, according to society, they're not the same thing. And there is a reason for this.
Very true.
Do you mind if I explain this to you?
Yes.
The reason for this is because the mentality that a male has towards sexual intercourse is very different to the mentality that a female has towards sexual intercourse. So a male will try their hardest to try and sleep with females.
It's very true.
Which means if you're a female, you constantly have males trying to sleep with you. So
I know the feeling.
I bet you do. You always have those males trying to sleep with you, slut. So I guess there's positive implications when it comes to being a player because you have to work hard and accomplish something to sleep with that many women, whereas being a slut is considered negative because of the fact that you constantly have guys trying to sleep with you. So all you really have to do is just let it happen.
Exactly. It's easy if you're a girl to be a slut. It's you don't have to do anything. You just have to be there. But
Yeah,
if
you
you're
basically
a guy,
just have to say one word, which is yes.
exactly. You don't even have to be particularly good looking. As long as you're not grossly obese and you haven't got a face like a trollop, you'll be good. But if you're a guy, you need to be on form.
You have to work hard.
You are doing all the work here.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's my opinion anyway. I don't want to seem sexist, but that's. I don't know. I don't know if slut is necessarily a very good term for a girl that sleeps around because it's so negative, but at the same time, it is very easy for a girl to sleep with guys, whereas guys have to
Exactly.
achieve that.
Very true. Very true.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think they're the same. That's my opinion.
but in what way do you not think they're the same?
I don't think they're the same because I think a lot of people seem to think a male being a air quotes player is the same as being a slut. Like a player is the male counterpart of a slut. I don't think it is. I think a player is a different meaning to a slut.
Explain.
Okay, I think if you're a male, like I said, you have to go out of your way. You know, you can't You can't just be a male and turn up to a bar and wait to be approached by a female, because 99% of the time it's not going to happen. It just won't. But if you're a female, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, it is. It's basically like, oh, I'm gonna have a few drinks, and I've got guaranteed sex on the cards.
Exactly. And
If you're a
you'll
woman.
get free drinks on the way.
Exactly. My God, my God. I had one of my exes the other day. Probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Yeah. So I'm in my house. It's 4 a.m. One of my exes calls me up and say she wants to come around. So I let her come around, and she spends the entire time talking about how many guys bought her drinks, but she didn't want to take. She didn't want to take any further. So she basically drank free all night. Now, I have never, ever gone out and drank free all night because women were interested in me. I'd like to think that was a possibility, but it's just not. Let's be honest. Everyone's seen my face reveal. I'm an ugly fucker. Despite what all
No,
you
you're not. You're
subsets-
beautiful.
Shut
You
up,
are beautiful.
You're such a charmer. You know that, James? Such a charmer. No, I mean.
No, in all honesty, Bunny, you're not doing too bad. It could be worse.
Okay, this is see when you make it an actual serious comment, it gets weirder. So let's leave it at the whole jokey or beautiful thing, and that's fine. I love you, I love you too. They can't hear us, so we whisper, right?
No.
Okay, I love you.
We'll edit it.
Sometimes I just dream about you.
Oh, tell me more.
Oh yes. Wait, what?
We'll edit that.
What was
That was a cut there because of connection.
what was the question? I can't remember what the question was.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't even remember.
Would you like to go to the next Would You Rather?
That might be best at this point.
Okay.
You're definitely
Would
gonna
you
cut that out.
rather have your legs and ears removed or your
Wow.
arms and nose?
Dear fucking God.
So, I think I would rather have more... I'm changing my mind now. I think I'd rather have my legs and ears removed.
Yeah, that's got to be the one.
Because I think if my nose was to be removed, then I look like Voldemort. I just
Yeah.
don't even look remotely human anymore. You look just different. And I've got no arms. I'd rather keep my arms than my legs, I think. Like, my ears, I feel like I could kind of do without.
Yeah, but here's the better question. I think it's more of a question if you say, would you rather have your arms and ears removed or your legs and nose?
You think that's better?
I think that's a better question because
Okay.
let's be honest, if you had to pick between your arms and legs, you'd prefer to lose your legs, right?
Yeah.
If you had to have your nose or ears removed, you prefer the ears, right?
Yeah.
So don't put them in the same category, split them up.
Okay, I can see where you're going with this.
So what would you prefer? Would you have the arms and ears removed or the legs and nose?
Oh, shit.
See, much harder question now, isn't it?
It is a lot harder. I think I'm going to have to get rid of my... I think the legs and nose are going.
I think so too.
I think the arms are the most valuable thing in this overall equation. I think whatever you put arms with, providing your eyes isn't involved, I'm
Yeah.
going to be taking that. But I think if sight was involved anywhere, I'd be taking sight.
Wait, so you can hear me clearly now?
I can.
Okay. Well, back on it. The arms, I think, are the big factor in this. Because I would always pick the arms. Even if I had no nose, I imagine there's something you can get. I'd literally prefer to wear like a Phantom of the Opera mask on my face to have like a little plastic nose rather than lose my arms.
Yeah, I think I would too.
You need your arms.
I feel like there's some sort of cosmetic surgery which you could probably have as well to kind of fix the nose situation. Whereas with your arms, that's something completely different.
Yeah, that's hooks for the rest of your life unless you're rich.
Exactly.
And fuck that jazz. I do have a question quite similar though, if you want to hear it.
I would love to.
What would you prefer to lose, your sight or your hearing?
Hearing.
Exactly. That's what everyone. I mean, that's the obvious question. But I was talking about this with someone else the other day, and they watched a program where they asked this question: sight or hearing? And a lot of people answered that they'd prefer to lose their sight because you can't communicate with people if you have no hearing. Now, is it just me that makes no sense to?
Yeah, like to... Okay, people have... Sign language is a thing.
Exactly.
But if you can't see, that becomes a lot harder then, because then you have to learn another form of communication without actually being able to see. You
Well,
know,
you can still hear
if you
and
can't
speak to
hear,
people,
people can communicate with you with something as simple as a pen and paper,
and
and you're
you can
probably
lip
going to
read.
develop lip reading. Exactly.
Exactly. That's whereas I mean, losing your sight is going to be detrimental to your life,
Oh yeah,
whereas losing your hearing is just going to be kind of a bump on the road.
yeah. Like there's a lot of things I could still do without hearing.
It's a bit like this study that was carried out. Did you hear about this with the blind people?
No.
There was blind people who were actually getting their sight back. So it wasn't to the
Wow.
stage where they were completely blind,
Okay.
but they were at the stage where they couldn't see anything. They couldn't recognize anything, but they were at a stage where they could get their sight back. And as kind of a scientific experiment, before these scientists did the experiment or did the surgery that was going to sight to these people, they gave them a tennis ball and they gave them a Rubik's Cube.
Right.
And they made them feel both objects before the surgery. They made them sit there for hours on end feeling these two objects, okay?
Yep.
And then they gave them the surgery, returned their sight to them. Obviously, it wasn't perfect sight, but they were able to see again.
Yep.
And they were unable to determine which object was which. They couldn't tell you which one they had felt first and which one they had felt second. They had no idea.
It shows how important sight can be, really, doesn't it?
Exactly. But that's only people who are born blind. So
yeah.
a lot of people
I
didn't.
suppose they need to. Sounds stupid, but they need to learn to see.
Yeah, they definitely
Like
do.
it's a skill. Believe it or not.
Exactly. A lot of people didn't understand this. They were like, well, one square and one circle. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine if you felt what a circle felt like. You felt like what a cube
Exactly.
felt like. But you have no idea what the corner to a cube looks like. You don't know what
Precisely.
anything looks like. In fact, you don't even know what sight could potentially be like in
Yeah,
general.
you got sight is an amazing thing. There's so much you get from it. All of a sudden, you lose colors, you lose tone, you lose almost not quite texture. I suppose you can feel texture, but shape, things like that. It all becomes a much harder task than before. Color, you can rule that out. You know. Hello.
But what I was saying was,
Yep.
imagine trying to describe to a blind person what sight is, or describe to a blind person what something looks like.
Yeah, it's not an easy task.
It'd be fucking impossible. Like, let's look at an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, it's got a red, blue, and
Yeah,
then
fuck it.
immediately you're stuck. And then you're like, well, it's rounded.
It's a U shape. What does
It's
a U look like?
Exactly. It's a complicated thing. I
But
mean,
what does a U look like? Well, a U's a curve. What does a curve look like? Oh fuck! Well, here we go.
yeah, there's no way to fucking do it. Like, no way. It's impossible. So sight is important at the end of the day. Hearing, not necessarily. I mean, you miss out on music and other beautiful things like that, but I prefer a sunrise to music every day.
Yup, me too. Me too. Plus, if you play music loud enough through bass, you will actually be able to hear things. Well, thank you for your feedback on that,
Bill.
buddy. Say a sentence for me again.
My father was a horse rider. He would ride horses
Okay,
day
it's
to
back.
day. Okay, that's good. Ugh.
Right. Okay. I guess we'll go
Yeah.
on to the next topic.
Basically, fuck hearing.
Yeah. What do you say?
Really? You just make that joke, James?
Make what joke?
Nothing. Carry on.
Right. Okay, so the internet has been up in arms recently about
Yes.
a video that came out from the United States. Now, the video was of a police officer who was interrogating a man. Well, I say he wasn't interrogating, but he was searching him. So what had happened was he pulled over in his car. There was a man and a dog inside of the car. So the police
Oh.
officer removed the man from the car,
Yeah.
and then he took him probably about 20 feet away from the car on the pavement. and he was searching his pockets. So the guy was kind of on his knees with his arms up. And now the dog saw his owner being patted down by a police officer. Now, to the dog, this meant that Daddy was in trouble. You know? The owner saw this as, oh dear, my owner is being threatened. So what the dog did was the dog jumped out of the car window, which had been left open, and was running towards the guy, towards the owner. And then the police officer pulled out a gun and shot the dog in the head. Opinions.
Okay, have you seen this video?
I have.
Are you sure?
I'm fairly sure. I saw it a while ago, but what I've seen is I've seen a version with some people talking over it.
So have I, but what you described was slightly different to what I saw.
Really?
So
Okay, what did you see?
what I saw was there was a guy with loud music playing from his car. Okay,
Yep.
he was recording the police officers because they were doing some kind of raid very close to where he was standing. Okay.
Oh, so you saw a video from the guy who got his dog shot's perspective?
No. I saw it from someone across the street.
Right. Okay.
It was probably the same one you saw, but basically what happened was, after a while of this guy recording the police officers, you could see him with his phone filming them. The police officer started walking towards him. So he recognized the fact that they were coming towards him to either arrest him or do something. So he puts the dog in the car.
Yeah.
Then they handcuff him and they move him slightly off the sidewalk, kind of in just off the road, onto the road, basically. So they're holding him there.
Okay.
He wasn't on his knees. They weren't searching him from the video I saw.
Weren't they?
And then
Okay.
what happened was, while they had him there handcuffed, the dog was sitting there barking away, and then eventually the dog jumps out of the car and runs towards police officers, right?
Yep.
He runs towards them and then stops and then starts sniffing the grass. So he kind of starts sniffing around in front of the owner, almost
Yes,
as if
that is
he kind of stopped paying attention to what was going on. And then one of the police officers tries to grab the dog's collar. So he puts his hand towards the dog, and the dog essentially jumps up, and it looks like he takes a nib, like he tries to bite the police officer's hand.
Yep.
And as soon as this happens, the police officer shoots the dog 5 times, and the dog starts running around and rolling around in pain, and that's what I saw essentially. Now, in my opinion, because if what had happened was I mean, does that ring a bell to you? For, like,
Yes and no. So the link I'm looking at now might be an old, yes, 2009. Right. Okay. So I searched the story and I've got the wrong one. I think the one you're talking about is correct though.
Okay, well, in the one that I watched, my opinion on it, because there have been 2. I saw both of them. I saw the old one and the new one. In the new one, it seemed as if the person who shot the dog, the police officer that shot the dog, was acting very hostile in that situation. He didn't need to shoot that dog. In fact, if they had completely ignored the dog's presence, the dog would have just walked around in front of him and just stayed next to its master, essentially.
Exactly.
In fact, if they had uncuffed the person they were handcuffing and just let him take control of the dog, there would have been no problem whatsoever, because the person they were handcuffing was no threat whatsoever. That was clear.
Exactly.
So it's not like they would have uncuffed him and he would have tried to hurt them, because that wasn't what was going on. He was recording them. So there was no physical threat. He immediately, as soon as he saw the police officers coming, he put the dog in the car, walked up to them, turned around, put his hands behind his back, let them handcuff him. So there was no threat whatsoever. So if they had just gone, all right, okay, put the dog back in the car, do the windows up, and then we'll speak to you, that would have been the end of it.
Exactly. It's not like in that time he would have had the capacity to be able to run away. If he did, then they could have threatened him with a firearm, and worst case scenario, maybe shoot him in the leg to stop him from getting away if it was that serious of a scenario.
Even that, they wouldn't have been able to shoot the guy because he showed no threat. So if he tried to run away, they could have chased him. That was it.
Exactly, but what annoyed... So I've always lived with dogs my entire life.
Yeah.
And I have 2 dogs now.
Yeah.
And this upsets me deeply because the relationship I've built up with dogs is very... It's as strong as I have a relationship with other humans. You know? Although maybe I shouldn't, I probably care about my dogs personally than I do a random person I've never met before on the street. You know, like like I don't think I would put them first in a life or death scenario, but without me knowing someone, my dog is going to come first. Just because.
Yeah, that makes sense. You have a personal relationship with your dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see, the thing that made me decide the police officer had gone over the top is I also saw a video from a news station. Okay,
Yep.
it wasn't the same event, completely different event, where a news anchor was doing a story on police. His
Oh dear.
story was ending. He put his hands around, like, kind of around both sides of the dog's face, and then went to stand up. And as he stood up, he made the mistake of kind of leaning towards the dog as he stood up, and the dog bit him straight in the face. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
No charges were pressed whatsoever. The dog wasn't gunned down, but this dog had just bitten this man in the face. And the explanation afterwards was, well, this man put his hands on both sides of the dog's head and moved towards him. The dog thought he was a threat, so the dog bit him. It's the exact same thing. If you put your hand towards a dog, it's going to go for you. You're better off just leaving it completely alone.
Exactly.
So why is it that the police dog didn't get gunned down, but this man's dog did get gunned down, even with him standing there? You're going to try and tell me the owner couldn't have controlled the dog if they had let him out of the cuffs for 2 minutes?
I could have quite easily have holstered my weapon and restrained that dog no problem if I needed to. I don't even think that was necessary. I think he could have just left the dog and done nothing about it, and one of the other police officers could have escorted the dog, maybe holding it by its collar, and walk it back into the car. And if maybe he didn't want to do that with a stranger, like you said, they could have just got the owner to do that. It would not have been a problem.
I'm sorry, but as far as I'm concerned, as soon as someone completely complies with me, as soon as they actually walk towards, if I was a police officer and I'm walking towards someone to arrest them, they see me and walk towards me and then like turn around and put their hands behind their back so that I can arrest them. As far as I'm concerned, they've gained a certain amount of trust with me.
They've just made your day easier.
Exactly. Dog jumps out of a car, you can deal with the dog. Put him back in the car, make sure you put the windows up so he can't jump out again, and then me and you will have a chat. I probably wouldn't even handcuff him again the second time. Yeah, because the guy had done nothing violent whatsoever.
I think the death of that dog was completely unnecessary. And
completely.
If I was that guy, no, I'm not one for pressing charges or anything, but I think I would, because that's just, somebody has to be punished for that, because
definitely.
It was unnecessary.
You know what the worst thing is?
What?
The police officer that shot the dog had previously been investigated for corruption charges.
You see, yeah, that screams that he should not be in that position of power.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get investigated for corruption charges? I mean, I understand if you're innocent, you get investigated, but then you go on to do something like this. I mean, at the end of the day, it was uncalled for. It wasn't necessary to do what he did. Because obviously we've worked out at this point that like maybe you've seen the wrong video, but when you do see
similar scenario,
the new one, oh yeah, definitely a similar scenario, yeah, definitely. But when you do see the new one, you're going to see because the way you described the old video to me, it's basically like if a dog's running at you, okay, you can be scared. You can try and shoot that dog. But they waited until the dog stopped running and just started sniffing around. He completely ignored the police officers and his owner and started sniffing the grass in front of them.
Yes.
And then he went for the dog and tried to grab it, and the dog tried to bite him. I mean, what else do you expect? The dog didn't bite him. It kind of jumped up and just kind of nipped at him.
Yeah, man. It's true.
It's not like it went for the police officer, but then the police officer pulls out a gun and puts 5 shots into this dog. The dog runs off and then collapses and starts rolling around on the floor, and everyone who was there, you can hear women in the background just screaming and crying and stuff because it was really disturbing to watch.
Oh, yeah. I think moral of the story, these cops were out of order.
Not necessarily all of them. One of them.
No, well, yeah.
That one guy was out of order, completely out of order.
Yeah. Okay. And with that section over, we move on to the YouTube trivia part of the podcast. However, we do not have a guest, but we do have Mr. Bunny Tears. Now,
yeah, this is going to be fun.
I kind of build up a small itinerary of what's going to happen in the podcast before Bunny gets here, which is good, because that means he doesn't know what the questions are. So there's no way for him to possibly have cheated.
Yeah, the questions have always been James's responsibility, so I have no fucking idea what he's about to ask me.
Exactly.
But at the same time, James, I have a question.
Okay.
Do you have a device of some kind that will time what is about to happen? Okay, that's good, because usually I time it. And I imagine if I don't beat the score in 30 seconds, I'm just not going to tell you the time's up.
Yep, I have my timing device here. I'm just going to use my watch.
By the way, it was your watch. I heard a lot of beeping. I thought, do you actually have a stopwatch with you? Because that's next level. But no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yep. I did think about it. Okay, so
Oh,
see now
shit.
the last question wasn't designed for you, but I guess I'll still ask it.
Well,
So,
none of them should
by the way,
technically-
you should just, if there's a question which you don't think you know the answer to, if I
I'm
were you,
just gonna say
pass
pass.
it as quick
That's
as
it, yeah.
possible because the last question,
Everyone.
you will get it right, so it's an easy mark.
Okay. 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 That's okay.
Are you
Okay.
ready?
Okay. I'm busy. I'm very, very concerned about how this will go. But I am ready. I am ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. What YouTube channel runs the famous comedy series Troopers?
No idea. Pass.
What is the largest population of people ever to have watched a single live stream on YouTube at once? A, 34,000, B, 137,000, or C, 83,000?
B.
How many channels on YouTube currently have in excess of 10 million subscribers? Bonus point for who?
2 Smosh and PewDiePie.
What is
No,
the
no, wait.
largest-
1 Smosh. 1 Smosh. Sorry.
What is the largest network on YouTube for subscribers?
IGN.
Complete the following well-renowned sentence. I knew something was wrong when a pretty little...
Nothing. Carry on.
Which game is uploaded the most to YouTube every day?
Minecraft.
How many videos has the well-renowned YouTube channel Bunny Tears uploaded?
200.
Time's up.
The world renowned. I like that. Oh, you bastard.
Ah, gonna be honest.
I didn't do too well. I know I didn't do too well.
Actually, yeah, you did shit.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
actually, you didn't. Okay, so for the first question, I asked you, what YouTube channel runs the famous comedy series Troopers? Now, the answer to this is College Humor. They've been running it for a few years now.
Ah, yeah.
That's very well
I
known.
stopped watching their videos a while ago. I should fucking
Yeah.
know that, really.
And then I asked you, what is the largest population of people ever to have watched a single stream on YouTube at once? Now, you said B.
I imagine that's too much now that I think
B
about it.
is the largest one. It's 137,000 people. The other options were 34,000 and 83,000.
Wait, so that was right?
B was correct.
Oh my god, who was it? Do you know?
Sorry, yes, it was a League of Legends live stream by a YouTube channel which has now been deleted.
Those League of Legends guys are fucking crazy.
I know, right? The next question I asked you was how many channels on YouTube currently have in excess of 10 million subscribers? A bonus point for who? Now, you originally answered
two
saying-
Smosh and PewDiePie, but it was...
Now, that was correct.
fun. Are you serious?
That was correct. But you changed your answer
I
to
did.
1 Smosh, which is incorrect. So you went from 2 points to no
Zero
points.
points. Are you
So
fucking
far, you've only got 1 point.
So wait, how many subscribers does Smosh have?
They have around 11.2 million. And
You are
PewDiePie
joking.
has
What about
about
PewDiePie?
10.2.
See, last time I checked PewDiePie, which was like yesterday, I thought he had 9.
He gains 64,000 every day. Then I asked you, what is the largest network on YouTube in terms of net subscribers?
I imagine it's Machinima now.
It is Machinima.
Yeah, I thought so. That's good.
And I asked you, complete the following well-renowned sentence.
Yeah, I had no
I
idea.
knew something was wrong when a pretty little... Then there's the blank. Now, you might remember recently, a big story came out from the US, which was a man heard screaming from inside a house. He ran up to the front door, and there was this girl at the door, and he opened the door, and then he let I think it was 3 girls who had been kidnapped and
I
trapped
heard
inside of
this
this house for
story,
years. Now, this guy is now considered a hero, but when the
Yeah.
news reporters went to talk to him on the scene, he said something along the lines of this: "Man, I knew something was wrong when a pretty little white girl ran into a black man's arms."
Wow.
That was what he said. He is black, so this is not racist.
So you're racist, basically.
No. So
Well,
the
your
answer.
impression
So
of
the
him was pretty
answer.
racist.
No, that's what he's. No, that's what he sounded like. To be fair. So the answer was, pretty little white girl ran into a black man's arms. That was the end of it. So you didn't get a point there. Then I asked you which game is uploaded the most to YouTube every day.
Oh, come on, baby. I must have this.
You said Minecraft.
I did.
The correct answer is Minecraft.
Yes!
That is
Thank
2 points
you,
for Bunny
baby.
Tears. That means Bunny Tears is currently tying with the number one place for this YouTube trivia contest at the moment, and that means you are tying with Danny, and I'm Zany.
Fake Danny.
Fake Danny. No, I'm Zany and the real Danny.
No, I mean Danny and fake Danny. That's
Oh
what I mean.
yeah, sorry. So you then made it onto the last question by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah, just about.
How many videos has the well-renowned YouTube channel Bunny Tears uploaded? Now, you were always going to get this one.
Yeah,
The
that was a bit
answer
cheeky.
is, in fact, 200.
That was cheeky. That was
Yeah.
cheeky indeed.
So you got that point. That means 3 points for Bunny Tears. You are the leading competitor for the YouTube trivia competition. However, you are going to be disqualified under the circumstances that you are, in fact, a host member. And the last question couldn't have been any better setup for you.
Okay, no, here's what I want to know, okay?
Mhm.
In Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, your first answer's the answer they have to take, okay?
Yes.
I demand,
fine.
I have 4 points.
I don't think... Oh...
Minimum 4. I mean, obviously, I won't take that one about my videos because that was a bit cheeky.
Right, so you want to substitute... So, right, so you
Well,
want...
obviously, I'm going to substitute the 1 for the 2, but at the same time, if it still doesn't count, then why the fuck am I even here?
Right. Okay, for the one person that is still watching at this point, Walter, we have been watching. We know that you are amazing. And if you are still here in this episode, then thank you.
You are amazing.
I'm not sure, is it what, Walter Lewis? Something along those
Yeah,
lines?
Walter's going to be here. Walter's a legend.
Yeah. Walter, I give the power to you.
Don't know. Wait.
Does
hold.
Bunny
Okay,
Tears...
you know what? Yes. Actually, yes. Please. Give Walter
wait,
the power.
is he one of your subscribers as well?
No.
Okay.
No, of course not. No. That'd be silly.
You
wouldn't it?
fucking liar. You're such a liar. You are such a liar.
Well, I don't know if he's one of my subscribers, but he is one of my active commenters, and he's a legend.
He's one of yours. Okay.
I don't know.
Walter.
He is. Yeah, okay, he is. But yeah, let's leave it in Walter's hands.
I'm Zany. I'll leave the power in your hands.
Oh, behave yourself. You said you can't get your first answer has to
All
be
right,
counted.
fine, Walter.
Doesn't it, Walter?
Walter.
Doesn't it, Walter?
Walter. This is up to you. Whatever you say goes. You can either say that Bunny gets 4 points, or he gets 2. Okay.
Wait, where the fuck did the 2 come from?
Because we're substituting your last mark. Either way.
You're joking. So why
So-
did you? I'll tell you what. No.
What's going to happen is either Bunny's
how
going to
many
become
questions-
joint first, or he's going to
How
become
many
first.
questions did I answer?
7.
Or how many
plus,
questions was I asked?
7.
Was it 6 with a bonus point, or 7 questions?
7 with a bonus point.
7 with a bonus point. Okay, in that case,
Which
7,
actually might
14,
be one more than normal. Is it?
21, 20.
I don't know.
It is. Well, go through the questions again, because I was pretty sure it was 6 with a bonus point and 7 potential.
It is, so we might as well remove the last question anyway.
Yeah, but how many questions did you actually ask me? Let's be honest, James.
I asked you 7, but the last one...
Go through them again. I demand it.
What YouTube channel runs the famous comedy series
Okay, that's
Troopers?
fine. Carry on. 1.
What is the largest population of people
Okay,
ever to have
2.
watched a single YouTube stream? How many channels on YouTube currently have in excess
Yep,
of 10
that's
million
3.
subs? What is the largest network on YouTube for subscribers?
that's 4.
Complete the following well-renowned sentence.
That's 5.
Which game is uploaded the most to YouTube
Oh
every
shit!
day?
Yeah, that's 6.
Yep, and
See,
how?
it's-
See, I know, I've got it here on a
Okay,
numbered
okay.
spreadsheet.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess that was a stupid thing to ask them.
So, Walter, now, if
Wait,
you
is
haven't...
it gonna? Wait. Are we also asking Walter whether or not it should count?
No. Walter gets
so
to
it
choose
basically
2 or
doesn't
4
count.
points.
It's
So,
just a pride.
Walter, you get to choose whether or not he wins or he double wins.
Wait. Yeah,
Because you can either win by 200% or you can tie.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't count, Mr.
No, look. Walter, this is the time to test your faith, okay? If this
Right, how-
happens
no,
to be
how
the
about-
one
how about
episode
this?
which you don't watch all the way through, then
Yeah,
you
that's
have
good.
let him down.
I will guide. No, hold on. We have to wait for an answer. We can't just decide to send me to the dogs if the fucking I don't know.
If Walter doesn't see this.
Yeah.
Walter,
Walter, we're counting on you here, bro.
we give you the power.
But should we not give Walter the power to decide whether or not it should be counted or not? All right, okay.
No.
If so, I will write you a quiz, and that way we'll both be introduced into the counting of the.
But
of
you
the
won't
quiz.
do it fairly.
Of course, I will, James. What do you take me for? I'll do the whole A, B, and C thing as well, which you love.
I do that every time. I make it fair. I have like a spreadsheet which I follow. You guys don't realize how organized I am for this. I don't know if you fully comprehend.
I am basically just. I mean, it's completely up to
Bunny's
the
just
end
the
of the day.
looks of this. I'm the brains and he's the looks. That's how we
Yeah,
do it.
the looks are important in a show like this.
Yep, exactly.
I do have a face for radio. That's
Yep.
something I've been told.
Wow. Those people are not nice people.
They're not, are they? But all I'm going to say is, I mean, obviously, it's completely up to Walter. And obviously, if I should have a giveaway with my subscribers, I mean, you know how it is. You know how it is. You know, certain people might be considered above others, but no, you know.
You piece of shit.
Hey, I'm not
piece
saying
of shit.
Walter. I'm not saying Walter necessarily. I'm saying, you know, people. You know, people.
Oh God, Walter, if you don't see this, buddy. Oh, if somebody else sees this, that's not Walter. I want you to message Walter to let him know because Walter, I think we're gonna have to cap when you can do this by. We'll give you 5 days from when this has been
That's
uploaded.
silly, isn't it?
It's a working week.
You can't put a cap on loyalty.
To be fair, Bunnyhead does have very loyal subscribers.
I do. They're all great.
He
They
does.
are amazing.
Yep.
Every single one of them. I'd give them all hugs and more if they wanted it.
Yeah, that's a service he provides.
Yeah,
Right. Are you ready to move on?
Of course I am.
Perfect. You have the option of 2 superpowers. You can either have the power of super speed or force fields up to a diameter of 30 meters.
It's got to be super speed.
Why?
Because in my day-to-day life, I can't see a use for the force fields.
Right, okay.
I mean, I understand that if you changed your lifestyle, it'd be extremely useful. So, for example, if I was to join the forces, you could essentially be a weapon for your country on your own.
Exactly. That's where I was heading with this. I was thinking if I can create, you know, a 15-meter radius, 30-meter diameter force field, I can just sit in a tank, and that tank then becomes unstoppable.
True. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
I came against a guy on Call of Duty who had a riot shield and a sniper. No. Listen up.
We go from
it's
the
important.
forces to COD.
He had a riot shield and a sniper rifle. Now,
Right.
the riot shields in Black Ops 2 have a little window on them. And essentially what this guy would do is he'd put his riot shield down, he'd sit looking through that window, and he'd aim his sniper rifle just below you. He'd wait for you to stand still for a split second, then he'd pop up, take the shot, and go back down in less than a tenth of a second. It was literally just like, bang, and he's back down. This is essentially the same thing. That guy was unstoppable.
Yeah.
And this tank could be unstoppable because I assume you wouldn't be able to send things out of the force field. So you'd have to release it and reanimate it immediately.
Yes.
If it makes sense, that is.
Yeah.
So that would be essentially what you're doing with the tank. You'd have to release it whenever you set a shell off and reanimate it immediately afterwards.
Yep.
And
Well,
goddamn.
Something you could. I mean, to be honest, you could just walk around and be your own mobile tank.
True.
Pretty much, just walk around.
You literally could just walk around as one person and destroy armies of people.
Exactly. You know.
Although, I imagine, if you get into a sticky situation where there's like 100,000 people surrounding you, letting down that force field for a split second is going to get you killed.
Yes, it would, because it could allow somebody just to be pushed into it, couldn't it? When you reform it.
Yeah, that's a good point as well, Rick. I assume people can't walk through this force field.
No, people can't walk through it. No, nothing gets through it. I'm imagining almost the same sort of thing. So you know in Star Wars, like lightsabers.
Yeah.
I'm imagining it's like the same sort of thing a lightsaber's made out of around you. You know.
Well, that's dangerous because you could walk into someone and kill them.
Exactly, but that's
that's
good,
very
though, because then as long as you're careful with it, I could then just walk through like insurgents' villages and things like that, and
destroy everything.
Exactly.
Well, that's a different story.
Which
so
sounds
you're
destructive.
Me the idea. Well, it is destructive, really, but
Now, super speed. See, now the force field thing, we've gone to quite selfless sort of things. Like, we're trying to help other people out in that situation, really. I think was the kind of the direction we were both going with that.
yeah.
Super speed to me feels like it's more of a cool thing for me.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it'd be more beneficial to your life.
Exactly, but I mean...
But then, how would you go about revealing to your country and the forces themselves that you had this power of
Exactly,
creating
because then you
forces
have the risk of
being an
being put into
experiment.
exactly. You could instantly become the most interesting guinea pig in the world that
Mm,
nobody's allowed to know about.
precisely. So the only way to really go about it is to join the forces and not tell anyone.
Yeah, I think the best way to go out there would be to go on the front line and just kind of, turn on your shield and kamikaze.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
That's a very interesting question. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's weird to decide which one is more, because
Yeah,
obviously one is more important than the other. The force field's going to be more important
definitely.
in like to everyone than the other.
Exactly.
But
Exactly. I
at
mean,
the same
you're not
time,
going to change the world because you can only be in one place at once, but you can definitely save lives.
although you could change the world, I mean, I assume as soon as the enemy realizes that your country has a power like this on
I
their side,
suppose, yeah. I mean, I could be airdropped into places and just, as soon as I've touched the floor with my parachute silent in the night, turn it
yeah,
on.
and that's it. Game over. I mean,
Exactly. Like whatever they've got, tanks, nothing.
nuclear bombs wouldn't be able to stop you.
Exactly. I can walk into the middle of a nuclear testing zone, and there's all the radiation. Everything's just gonna be. It just can't get through.
Yeah, very complicated question.
Okay, now here's a new question.
Let's hear it.
It's a would you rather.
I love these.
Would you rather have a pet dog that will live until you die, so it will live for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
or a Pegasus that will live for 5 years? Now, Pegasus being in this
Oh
context,
my god.
a horse with wings, so you can fly it around effectively. Okay, so it's almost like your own mobile magical aircraft sort of thing. Can I start with this one?
Yes, you can. Of course, you can.
Okay. Yes, a Pegasus is amazing. Now, I think it would be an amazing pet to have. I will be utilizing it a lot. I'll be flying to random places which humans haven't ever been to before.
Mm.
But over my lifetime, I've formed really close relationships with dogs, and when they die, it's one of the most heartbreaking things ever to go through.
Definitely.
So if I can have a dog which I know is going to be around with me forever, like, to me, that's like, rather than having this cool creature which is only going to last for a small section of my life, I've got a best friend for the rest of my life.
Indeed.
So I think I'd go for the dog.
I would answer the same, but for a different reason, really.
Okay.
Because of the last question you asked and the whole government experiments thing, I'm going to decide that having a Pegasus is going to cause more problems than you might think.
That's true. I mean,
imagine how many people would be trying to capture that shit.
yeah, you could try and keep it secret. But now I think about
How
it,
in God's
the
name?
likelihood is flying around in Britain's airspace, you're going to be picked up on radar, and you can't identify yourself. You're going to have some jets on your ass pretty quick.
Yes,
So-
I think it has to be the dog. There's too many complications with the Pegasus. Although it would be very cool, at the same time, it would cause a lot of problems. I mean, for one, my house isn't that big. I'm not gonna lie. It's not that big. Where the fuck am I gonna keep a horse? I'm not like you, rich boy who has stables.
I am not rich.
You have stables, though, don't you?
Yes.
Well, then that's the end of that. You have stables.
Fuck.
I have a fridge. That's what's up.
I too have a fridge. I'm normal.
But just because you've got what I've got doesn't mean you're fucking the same as me.
Everybody has a few fridges. This is just a normal thing. This doesn't
Yeah, but
mean-
I'm trying to say the fridge is the biggest asset in this house. You've got a
I'm
stable
sure if you stick all
with
your,
horses in it.
what you do is you like stack all your fridges up, and then you cut sections of them out. You make one really big fridge.
Have you actually done this?
So no, but rather than having a bunch of smaller fridges, you can have one big fridge.
Okay, James, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who in the world, on the planet, apart from someone who sells fridges, has a bunch of fridges?
How many do you have in your house?
A fridge.
Oh,
Oh my god, James, how many fridges do you have in your house?
4.
You have 4 fridges in your house.
I don't see what's so weird about this. One of
You
them
have
One of them is a
four.
freezer on the bottom.
Wait, one of them has a freezer on the bottom.
Yeah, one's like 3 fridges and
So
one
one of
fridge
them
freezer.
is a fridge freezer.
No, one's like there's 2 compartments. The top bit's a fridge and the bottom bit's a freezer.
And you're defending yourself by saying, "Oh yes, one of them has also got a freezer." So I have 4 fridges, and one of them has a freezer. I have a.
There's probably more
freezer.
people in my house than there is in yours, though.
How many people are in your house?
4. No,
Same.
3. Sorry.
We have 4.
Oh, right. It was 4 until recently.
Yep, we have 4. You have 3, and you have more fridges in your house than you do people. How is that sensible?
Maybe yours is bigger.
My what? House?
Your fridge. Just to clarify.
It's a normal person-sized fridge, James.
I don't know how this is turned on me.
This is next level. You made a mistake mentioning this on the podcast.
I didn't realise I was
Because I
saying
will
anything
never
abnormal.
let you hear the end of this, fridge boy. You have 4 fridges in your house, and you have 3 people in your house.
Yes.
That's an honest thing.
Yes, it is.
I have a
You will-
portable fridge here that holds 6 cans of Coke.
Yeah, rich boy.
Oh, well, excuse me for having a fridge I can just plug into the mains and is actually smaller than my stereo.
Huh.
Wait a second. How many fridges do you have in your kitchen?
In our kitchen.
Yes.
Okay, there's like a little cellar separate room bit that comes off
Hey, your kitchen.
One.
Not... What?
fuck
So,
you.
okay, so you have a normal amount of fridges in your kitchen. Okay?
Yes.
So describe to me where these other 3 fridges are located, please.
Okay, so there's one in the garage.
Of course, yes.
Right. And the garage is probably about 50 yards away from the house.
You know what? I'll actually give you that one. I will give you a fridge
that's
in the
not
garage.
abnormal. I think
Even
a lot of people
I
have that.
know people. Yeah, even
We
I
have
know
a fridge
people
and a
have fridges
freezer
in
now.
garage.
I don't think that's uncommon.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
And then there's kind of like a little... It's like a little cellar sort of room, which you'll see when you come around. I'll show you it, just so you know I'm
Okay.
not crazy. So the kitchen's it's a fairly large room, but coming off of it, you open a door, and there's an enclosed off room with one window at the back, and there's a 6-foot tall fridge freezer with the fridge on the top and the freezer on the bottom.
See, that's the fridge I have.
Yeah, and then if you look to your right and then look down, there's another fridge on the floor there.
Okay. Now, okay. What have I for 3 people?
Oh, I've broken Bunny.
You have. I can't comprehend what the hell you're gonna need 4 fridges for. How many freezers do you have?
3.
You have 3 freezers.
2. No, 2. 2 of them.
It's
Yeah,
3,
2.
isn't it?
No.
It's 3, isn't
No,
it?
it's 2.
It is,
It's
isn't
2.
it? I bet it's 4.
It's 2.
It's
Fuck
4,
you,
isn't
it's
it?
2. Fuck you.
You have 2 freezers.
2.
I'll tell you something. If a zombie apocalypse does happen and electricity isn't removed from our houses, I'm going to your house. My God, you are kitted out.
I don't see how this has been I can't imagine how you have dealt without this much storage.
We have a
Do you just
fridge.
live off canned food?
No. A 6-foot fridge freezer holds enough food for a 4-person family.
How? Yeah, okay, actually, here's a good question. How often do you, like, go shopping, though, and get, like, a household full of food?
Once a month?
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
That's not possible. Because we get it once a week.
Oh my God. You have 4 fridges and 2 freezers, and you go on a full house shop.
No,
once
we don't go shopping. It's kind of like, it's like a weekly Tesco. Like, they come to the house with, like, a lorry and stuff.
Okay. Well, first of all, you're just digging yourself a hole here.
I don't...
So Tesco sends a lorry to your house.
Walter, back me up here.
No. You have 4 fridges, and Tesco sends a lorry to your house.
No, it's not
Do
all for
you
us.
live-
That lorry does a round trip.
No. Do you live in a Tesco's?
No.
That's the only place I've seen a lorry deliver fucking food to ever.
No, it's like a lorry slash van, and what it does is it has food, which it does on like a 3-hour round trip, and it goes off to several houses, and it drops off crates to each house on the way around. So it's not just for us.
Just crates as you do. You see, when I go shopping, we have a thing. It's kind of weird. You might have actually heard of it. It's like you know
I know
them.
what you're gonna say,
They're,
fuck you.
they're called plastic bags.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, those
I knew
things.
you were
You
gonna
know,
say that.
yeah, we fill those with food and bring those home. We don't tend to deal with crates because there's only 4 of us. But you and your 3-person family, obviously.
I don't believe that you stock up once a month. That's not possible.
You're right.
Do you
right.
all eat out a lot? Do you all like eat out a lot?
I was lying about my shopping habits to try and hide. I am so ashamed of my shopping habits that I decided to lie to you, Mr. James.
Do you eat out a lot though?
No, we don't eat out a lot. We hardly ever eat out.
I don't understand. That's not much
If we
food.
fill
How
our
can
freezer
4
with
people
food, there's
go a
more
month?
food than we're ever gonna need.
How can 4 people go a month with that
We
much
go on
food?
shopping trips like to get milk and bread,
Yeah.
like once a week.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. If there's a
Fuck
single
you.
person in the comments of this video that agrees with you, I need to change my lifestyle.
No, genuinely, I am surprised.
How many cookers do you have?
How many cookers?
Yeah.
1.
Are you sure, James?
It's like, do you know what I'm not even gonna say? It's just 1.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
It's one of those big ones, isn't it? It's one of those unnecessarily big ones.
They're not unnecessarily
It is,
big.
isn't it? Well, let me put it to you like this, okay? So
Right.
your cooker, I'm guessing, is like twice the size of a normal cooker, yeah?
I don't know what a normal cooker looks like. My one.
Oh
is a normal,
my God.
My
Oh
cooker is
my
a normal
God.
cooker.
First
me.
world problems. I don't know what a normal cooker looks like.
No, fuck you are turning this on me.
Does it
so
take
much.
up? Okay, imagine a square cooker. Is yours rectangular?
Yes.
I bet it is. I bet it fucking is. All right, let me put it to you this way. We have a square cooker, like all the normal people in the world, and we're alive. So it's pretty unnecessary. I mean, unless you cook for a lot of people, but you have 3 people in the house. But unless every day people are coming around and you're feeding the 5,000, you don't need a double cooker. And you definitely don't need 4 fridges. I can't believe you've just...
I think a double cooker is quite a normal thing.
When I come round, I'm going to, in the most respectful manner, ask your mother why she felt the need to buy four fridges. Like, why that was a thing.
Alright, here's what you got to remember. There was 4 people in the house with visitors coming a lot. As in, like, we'd have probably 4 to 5 people visiting a couple times a month. Mr. Tears.
One sec.
So, ladies and gentlemen listening to the podcast, just in case you're wondering what's happening, Bunny's being told off by his mother for questioning what is actually necessary for the average household to survive.
I'm back. What did you just say about me behind my back?
I didn't say anything about you.
You
Continue.
did. What did he say, guys? What did he say? I'm gonna watch
Walter,
this back, Mr. James.
Be careful.
You'd better clip that out, James. You'd better.
Just continue.
What did you say?
I just murmured words. That's all I did.
I heard you say something about mothers and something about questioning the amount of fridges in your house. It seems ridiculous to me.
Just
that you would
continue.
need 4 fridges. Continue with what? My rant about your 4 fucking fridges.
It's more like 3.5, okay?
How many
And
cars
there
do you have?
was 4 people in the house, and there was 4 to 5 visitors coming twice a month.
How many cars do you have?
2.
Okay, there's you live in your house now, your mum, and who else?
My sister.
How old's your sister?
12.
Right.
One's a work car,
Right.
and one's a normal.
Right.
You are such.
So for one
prick.
person that can drive a car, this one person has 2 cars. One being a work car,
Yes.
and I assume one being a casual car.
One is. Well, they're both just kind of hatchback cars for getting around. They're not sports cars or anything.
I didn't say they were, my man. I didn't say that at all. You also have a quad bike, don't you?
Okay.
What other vehicles do you have, Mr. James?
Are you seriously asking?
I am. You have a quad bike and 2 cars. That's what I know so far. Now, apart from the horses, which technically could count as vehicles, what else do you have?
All right. There's a small
You
tractor.
say small as much you. Oh my god. Okay, carry on.
And then there's a lorry. I don't like this. I feel like I'm being accused of something. It's for transporting horses. Okay.
You own a lorry.
It's a 7.5 ton lorry for transporting humans and horses.
You have 2 cars, a quad bike, a tractor, and
Small?
a lorry. Shut up about small. A tractor and a lorry for one person who can legally drive.
Okay. One, the quad bike's mine. I am allowed to drive it on our land.
Doesn't matter.
I'm allowed
It
to drive
doesn't matter.
the tractor on our land, as I do. I'm old
You
enough to
drive
have a
the
license to drive that tractor on the road as well.
That's not true, is it?
No, it is true. It's stupid, I know. You can legally, you can drive I don't have a driver's license, but I can drive a tractor on the road with a 15-ton load. But because I haven't got my license, I'm not allowed to drive a Fiesta.
Give me a second here, James.
This is true. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Bunny's a piece of shit. Don't ever talk to him. He's going to make you feel like you've done something when you've done fuck all.
I heard every word.
I love you too, honey.
Let me tell you something, James, Mr. fucking 4 fridges, Mr. We have 20 vehicles for one person.
Fuck you.
Let me tell you something, Mr. I own horses in a big fucking field. Let me tell you something, Mr. We need a double cooker for 3 people, of which 2 are younger than fucking 16. Go fuck yourself. That's it. That's all I had. Also, James, I will need to leave for a second. How long have we been going for?
I have no idea.
It can't be an hour, surely not.
I don't know. I
And I
think it
guess
has
you-
been. I think it has been. Close to
You
it.
sure?
Close to it. Because there's bits we got cut out.
Okay. Well, I need to go and pick up my sister from the train station, my little sister.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't have 20 cars, you see.
How many
so I
trains
can't-
do you own?
0.
Liar. You have like 5.
You actually trying to convince people that I own 5 trains. I can afford to own 5 model trains. 5 toy trains.
I feel like I've been accused of something I haven't done.
But you haven't. You've been accused of something you have done.
I haven't done fuck all.
No, you're right. You haven't done fuck all. You've done
Ex-
something. Don't use double negatives on me, Mr. James. I'll call you out on it. I haven't done nothing.
I hate you so much.
I know you do. Oh, right. Okay. I'm only joking about the offensiveness of the crimes, but the crimes did occur.
I think this all seems unusual to you because you live in the city.
I think this all seems unusual to me because you have more fridges than people in
2
your house.
cars is a very common thing.
You have more fridges than people in your house, and if you don't count the lorry as a car, you're a mistaken man.
How's that count as a car? You
Also,
don't drive
2
that.
cars is it's common in a household where there's like more than one person who drives
Yeah, but
cars.
one's just a work car.
And that's what you're trying to justify yourself with.
Well, yeah, that's not like something we bought. That's
That is
not
what's
optional.
up. That is what's up.
Right. Okay. Go pick up your sister.
I shall, Mr.
Go
James.
pick up your
When I
sister.
bring her back, she might get a snack from our one fridge
Oh,
after I walk her
how-
home. Walk her home.
is your sister of an appropriate age to bring on this show?
Depends what you mean by appropriate. She's older than you.
I want to bring her on and ask her some questions because this is terrible.
So I'll bring them both on, and then you can speak to them about your fridge situation. We'll see how ridiculous it is then. Your new nickname is Fridges. I'm putting it out there, guys. It's Fridges. Forget Laffy
that's getting
Taffy.
cut out.
Fridges.
That's getting cut out.
You cut this out. I'll make it public. I'll make an entire video on that shit.
You just won't. I know.
I promise you, I
won't.
will.
I know you.
How much do you want to bet? I'll bet you 3 fridges. Our video about fridges.
I'll tell you what. Go get your sister. Go.
I am.
Be gone.
Okay.
Be gone.
Oh, guys, thank you for watching Podcast X. I'm guessing we're going to have to end it here. James has to go and tend his fridges and horses and shit. That's why it's ending. No other reason. But we love you all. Thank you for watching. Mr. James, say goodbye. Or don't. Or just say the number of... Oh, was that from all the food you've eaten from the fridges?
All
right. Okay. Well, that's basically it.
Me and my farmer buddy's going to fuck you up if that's how you want to play it.
Or you're going to rear me. Shut up, you farmer boy.
Thanks for watching, guys. Walter, choose your sides wisely.
Yes. Giveaway.